welcome back. Welcome back to the actively on fire City of Spiders. Let's hope some buckets are on the way. Lest the cafe be next. Oh, it's very dramatic. Beginning to blacken Promenade Park, quite like a bit of sea bass. A blackened catfish. That should attract even more customers to the cafe. I hear helicopter blades. Hello, my friends. Oh, yeah. That's a good dump. Dump it all right there for me. That's a good lad. Didn't quite get it, but he should be able to grab some extra from the nearby river. This luscious riverfront property. So is that not like a fire station right there? It should be in some way helping this. The glares of the firemen through the chain link, at the very least, should be providing some sort of bonus. I'm not saying I don't appreciate everything you're doing for us, helicopter guy, but you appear to be flying directly through the pier. In fact, that gentleman there was put in some severe danger. A skateboarder. He was just trying to ollie out his kickflips, and here you came, with your whirring blades. I also don't mean to criticize, but the cafe is quite dry and brittle now. Please speed it up. Speed up the descent. You're a competent pilot. I'm sure you'll be able to level it out. Anyway, welcome back. Good morning. Nice to see you. A little bit of drama to start the city off today. Let me check if there is seemingly anything I can do. Perhaps a fire watch tower over here would help. I know I didn't put many of those in. $9,000, we can certainly afford a few more. We're in fact creeping towards our first million. So prepare your monocles, your greasy mustaches, etc. Soon is the time. Let's put another fire watch tower right here. It's not looking directly into anyone's basement windows. Good. Just like commercial and office zoning, so it shouldn't be. Well, if it survives, geez. I should have waited until after the active fire situation was resolved before placing another wooden structure. Oh, 6 feet away, let's call it 10. I'll be generous with myself. Come now, helicopter, let's not dilly-dally. The whole world waits in suspense. Pilot, oh my heart. Is that not enough for you, Promenade Park? Oh, you genius. Thank you, guys. Much love. Here are your propers. Alright, so I'm not sure if that's going to help, but hooray, we have a second fire watch tower there. This is now going to be a primarily fire watch tower-based city. Good. And on one up in the Bryn, why not? Hey, while we're building fire watch towers, these will be able to stare directly into the souls of men. Figure out what dirty lies you've been telling your neighbors. So just prepare for that. Let's see if we can help them out just a touch, too. This is some rough terrain, but we'll do our best. A gravel path. Let's try to start it out here. We're at the very edge of our owned area. Go freeform. I really like this little rivulet there, though it has no water. To name it such, it could be, in my imagination. But let's just go around it. Over here, up around here, maybe. It's like the elementary school. So yeah, our forest rangers will pass by the kids at the elementary school and keep close watch on them. That should be fine. Heavily vet our forest rangers. It'll be fine. Might be able to fit just a probably not, but maybe just a okay. So I don't know if that's actually going to do us any good unless it's connected. We can run it along behind to here. Let us do that. Sure. And nope. I wanted you to. Yep, we're getting there. It's okay. Distance too short, I guess, is the issue. Sorry. If a prima donna about the distances, I see now. How is it that I'm able to do tiny little things like this, then? You tell me. You explain to me how it is that I'm able... Hello there. Welcome, welcome. I'm sorry, I'm so slow to see you there. Oh, and hello. Oh, and hello. Okay, there, we've done it. So, the rangers can now access the sidewalk instead of having to trudge through the bog that I've inconveniently placed near the elementary school parking lot. Sorry, kids. And they can get to their Firewatch station here. Hooray, hurrah, hooroo. Let's see if we can give them some sort of beautification. Oh, you rangers. Oh, we need to beautify you. The king will never see you in a state like this. And neither shall the queen, who in fact holds the real power here in Menzoberranzan, if you were curious. Want something that's up off the ground just a bit, but not quite a tree. Is that too much to ask? Not quite a tree, but up off the ground. I think there are like some low bushes in here. I'm probably in the wrong category. Here we go. They're also much easier to place. Let's cover up a bit of this stretchy cliff texture, as it will allow. Also increase the flammability of the station here. I'm sure the rangers will appreciate that. Quite severely increased the flammability of the station. Let's put this behind the bushes, and one here, and one here. Alright, lovely. Now, do we have any... I know there's like some miscellaneous park items in here, but can they go anywhere? Probably not. Like these, I was wondering if I could put a picnic table or something out here. But, not really necessary. I'm sure there's some other option I'm forgetting about. Perhaps in here. Yes, props. That's what I'm forgetting about. Yes, I did. Thank you. I just hit my first million. I'm sorry to be so excited. Oh boy, am I greedy. Congratulations, everyone. And let's pull back to see the many, many deaths. Sorry about that, Grandpa. And the lovely city of Menzoberranzan as our official first $1 million in profit rolls in. Hopefully I am fairly divvying it back out to the citizens in new amenities and industry. If not, shame on me. I'll do better. So we're still kind of trying to even out things and add little wants and needs, like our still-to-come waterfall feature here. I've gotten myself distracted with, let's take this back down to 1 speed. There we go. I've gotten myself distracted with firewatch towers, but I promised we'd do a little waterfallery here, and we will. Our canal is still working quite nicely. It's evened out its flow, it seems. So it's now just sort of still in there. It's neither adding nor subtracting water. That is good. We never did reconnect this road. I think it may behoove me to just straighten this little Alexander Street out. Move the cemetery to it, since we're rolling in the millions. And then we can try to fix that road up here. However, I'm going to pause it just to make sure that our cemetery doesn't become upset. And we'll stick with freeform. That's been treating us well. However, I did want it as straight as possible. Where freeform does not treat us well. Very creative and fun roads, but that's what we need. Some nice old straightness. Boring old, straightness. However, I've made the fatal flaw of forgetting that once a cemetery has even a single body in it, it cannot be moved without emptying it first, which is rather distasteful all around. So I just should not have so hastily placed this cemetery on a curve, which obviously may need to be corrected. So the problem isn't that we can't make a road over the canal. The problem is just that this angle I've placed the cemetery on is very bad for it. And I really would like it to have access through there because it has hearse vehicles to spawn. And right now they all have to go across the bridge and back. So if they had another way to get up into, say, the Witching Pines, all the better. So there must be a way to do this. And the only way I'm really thinking is to have sort of like an elevated intersection of sorts. I'm not sure if this is going to work. Because there's not a lot of room to de-elevate it on that side. However, if it allows that, well, that's not perfect, but it connects it, it allows the hearses to go through. That's really all I need. It's a little bit, wonky. Sure, it's a little wonky, but we'll work on that later. Alright. So we have a little campground here. Some campfire. We have the firewatch station right up there, which hopefully can, like, peer across the lake with, shifty, seedy binoculars to make sure that this campground and fire stations, like that one, are okay. Let's give just a quick peek to that. In real time here, yeah, everything looks pretty blue. Blue is good. Thumbs up to blue. We do have to do a little bit of beautification and expanding of the Forest of Nonsense as well. The witch, our dear witch, has waited long enough. We need like a, kind of envision that this Firewatch Tower is only looking out over Lake Consternation, so maybe we need a specific Firewatch Tower for the Forest of Nonsense itself. I know we were trying to add a through road here as well. And then in the Bryn, I keep forgetting we have this, or this, area of slopage, perhaps both, to try to run a road through here as well, because right now there's not that many ways to get a lot of people back to their houses. It would be nice to have a few more options there. I left a little bit of this open, like we have this empty space there, and we have this empty space here, in case we can maybe fit a cable car station in there, which I'm still hoping to take a look at. But, promises. Let's jump back to the waterfall, now that we've reconnected this, and put in a few more Firewatch towers. I hope that helps the park here. It's the second time Deer Promenade Park is lit ablaze, so we'll see what happens. I feel like this little corner needs something, though. For our park to be able to sit unwatched. What does it need? An info booth? Nah. Restrooms, there are already restrooms nearby. A chessboard is right there. We only have the 2 gazebos, right? Do we even have a second? I guess not. I must not have placed it. So we only have 1 gazebo. However, it's right across the street from that empty spot. Let me put one in here. Just for a little extra amenity there. Alright. But should we do maybe like a climbing frame? There's one on this side of the park already. Kind of makes sense over here too. Let's go for it. Snuggle it in tight. Alright. And let's see if we can grab just a couple more. I wish you could hover over a tree and see what kind it is. Like, what's that big tree in the corner there? Perhaps one of these. Let's add a few more. I like how that looks there. So just sort of fill in this elevated path so it seems to come out of nowhere to a certain extent. We'll again add to the fire danger overall, but we'll add for more shady spots as well. Alright. Where else can I fit one in? I really want them to overlap that much. Let's put another one back here, just for road coverage. A little something to block off the chess tables from the road as well. It's quite noisy there. There we go. Try to expand our forest slowly. I see that in the chat. I am a patient witch. Thank you, O witch of nonsense. We will expand your area. Wait, I mean, we will... how do I say this? I do believe we have a few unlocked leisure options now that I haven't quite put in yet. We have like a marina we can add to the waterfront. We can even add more roadway here. We don't want to cut in too much to Promenade's riverside area. It would be nice to have some more riverfront amenities here besides the park. Is that currently a restaurant pier, or is it just a pier? I think it's just a fishing pier. So let's try a restaurant pier. It will be rather handy out here. It's so nice and straight in that section. Let's go for it. So we have a restaurant out here. Great. Jet ski rental, fishing tours, and that's about it. Oh man, it has been snowing quite heavily here, and the lights every once in a while are flickering away. It's not uncommon when it's snowing here, but always a little interesting. Especially while I'm taking, I'm sure, more than my fair share of electricity. I could add a little volleyball station in here. You can't really put that in a park, but I could put it roadside, and that's such a perfect grid placement. Let's go for it. Makes a certain sense there. I have as many leisure opportunities as possible, even though just about everybody, because the Promenade Park has been doing so well, just about everyone is already at max house level. Speaking of which, we may need to make some rough decisions about rezoning a little bit of like the edges, especially where it's noisy, the edges of our residential zones, to make it high density. So we very regrettably may need to kick a few people out of their homes in order to give the city more shape, and it would bump up the residents flat out. Like over here, we may be able to remove this, fix it up to the grid a little bit better in like 8 squares, and then high density zone it so that we could completely fix our first ramshackle placement of residential zoning. So I think I'm going to leave this road for now. We were trying to move the cemetery onto this straight away, but I'm just going to let it hang. Let's go ahead and unpause it and and look at waterfall terraforming. So the one spot that immediately jumps out to me as maybe a potential waterfall is right here, this little plateau with the tree. It's not at the very top, so there's still a little bit of separation from the residential zone, and hopefully they won't hear too much water rushing. It's also far enough away from everything that it shouldn't pose a flood risk. The canal will catch any runoff, and there's no buildings placed yet, besides perhaps this viewing deck that will be flooded, so it's only the road that we'll have to worry about. I think the road will probably flood, so let me just get rid of a little bit of it. I think the nature reserve should still work, it just won't be a loop. That should be plenty. Let's try to shape it so that it comes no further than that. And right back down into the lake here. So, let's give it just an insinuation in the terraforming menu of where we want it to go. I want this to be fairly weak, so all the way down low strength and smallest size possible. Let's just start drooping this down where we kind of think it might end up. I don't want it to be that wide a river, I just want it to be kind of a shallow channel here, but I do want it to kind of diagonally trickle down to this point, if at all possible. I don't think it's really going to let me do that unless we terraform it quite extensively, but it will be a little bit easier once the water is flowing to see how we can do that. So I'm going to raise this up just a touch. I'm going to try to get it to come this way. Something like that, if you see what I mean. So that it'll hopefully wind down here and end up, you know, just about where we need it. And then we can definitely refine this once the water is actually flowing however we want. But I would love for it to follow that little path there. Just a touch more up there. Okay, so let's see where we can place this. Back to utilities and a freshwater outlet. There are no longer any freshwater outlets underneath the lake, so it's not filling up, if you'll pardon me, from the bottom. But it will now be filling up from up here, which is great. Hoping it'll let us put it in pretty shallow there, like that would be ideal. And then we'll try to kind of hide it with some trees. A little bit lower. Alright. I'll take you up on that. So hopefully it'll kind of follow our channel here. Some of it may splash off down this way. We'll take care of that. But the majority of it should follow this channel. Let me place the pipes and pause it. We have just a touch more terraforming to do, I think. We'll connect this up here. We still have, as you see, plenty of water availability and sewage treatment availability. So that should be fine. Let's jump back to terraforming. It's just a touch blasé at this one particular point. It may sort of spread everywhere right here. Let's go ahead and take that down just a bit more. As much as possible, I want the majority of the water also to be back here and then running under. So if we need to lower this down a little bit too, I don't want it to interfere with the nature reserve path, which we can hopefully connect right back up where it was. So we can even like extend this so that the water from the lake fills this up a bit more too. Like a proper inlet here that goes under the road, I hope. Fingers crossed. I sure do like terraforming. There's something so satisfying creatively about shaping the world itself. Maybe it's not creatively satisfying as much as it is megalomaniacal. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So if this works, we'll add some trees and junk. Let's go ahead and start the water up now so that we can see how it looks. Once the utility pipes realize they can come online, we should see it bubbling up. Bubbling up near the Bryn. Oh, that sounds dangerous. Oh, thank you very much for the subscription. That is lovely. I'm sorry I missed it for so long. Welcome aboard. I guess power may be another concern, but it should have power. I think it's just taking its sweet time. Yeah, it's got plenty of power. Sometimes it just takes a while. There we go. So, let's see what it has a mind to do here. Where it skitters off to. I think we can delete this tree safely. Sorry, tree, I ruined your life. Alright, it's taking us up on the channel quite nicely. This is so cool. I've never made a proper man-made lake with a canal and a waterfall before. This is all new territory for me, and I'm so happy to be exploring it with you guys. These have all been theoretical plans in my mind. So I think that's great. I don't think we need to change much about it. And it should actually, like, sandify itself a bit and become more of a, you know, proper water structure over time. Or texture, I mean. So yeah, I think that's kind of fine. That's exactly what I wanted. If anything, it may be a little smooth, like it's not very much of a waterfall as much as it is a steep river. We could add more of a waterfall steepness to it. Perhaps up here, if we really wanted to get crazy. Let's try a bit of that. As much as I love a steep river, you know me. Oh. Just gotta try to make it, like, bunch up a bit more so that it has to collect and then whoosh over the edge. Go on, whoosh over the edge for me. Let's, in fact, make this flat. That will probably be a better way of going about it. So it sort of collects in this little basin. Here is the idea. And then hopefully we can add like little bushes and trees and rocks to make it look even more waterfall-y. And then let's make this go right out to the edge as much as possible. I'm going to increase the strength just a touch. This is taking a little while. There we go. So that will make it run a little bit crazy. Let's pause that for a second. Jump back to here and increase the height of that. There we go. That should give us more of a straight whoosh over the edge. Alright, back to straight. Let's give it one more little push here. Yeah. And then we'll plunge this down. Plunge it. Oh no, it's plunging. Alright, let's try that. Unpause. Still a little bit even over here. Let's take away its opportunities. Give it a little bit of a plateau effect here, in fact. That'll be nice. That'll be nice. Alright, that's more of a waterfall there. It is running off the edges just a touch. We'll see if it straightens itself out. We may need the occasional boomp in incline. I think it's going to cooperate with us. And looks, just fantastic. Uh-oh, do we have a fire? We do, in the dear witching pines. They're taking care of it, though. No big deal. Thanks to our brave men and women. Speaking of which, at this point in the story, sit down. There's something I must discuss with you. Now, let's go ahead and just increase our fire budget a touch more to 115. More trucks, more helicopters, yes please. Crime hasn't been a huge issue. I think we're still doing okay there. Let's go ahead and give healthcare another boost as well. Slowly boosting. We may need to expand at least some more offices, if not more forest industries soon as well. I really want to take advantage of the rail line as well. Now that we finished our, almost finished our waterfall, we should be able to start looking at that. So now we need to add like some trees, some rocks, some features to hide it better. I think the water itself is finally evening out, though it is still creeping through over here occasionally. That's weird. So we just need a touch more right up here. Let's increase that and then give it a little, like, a place for Simba's father to fall off of. Won't that be nice? Everybody jump up. Everybody jump up to this level. Yeah, you got it. And then right here where Simba's father dies, yeah. I'm hoping that will close it off there. It's a little wide and that's causing it to clip through the cliff, but hopefully that'll keep it behaving. So, beautification. What do we have here? How about some of these native trees? How about those native trees? I don't really want them David Blaine style floating in midair, but thank you. That is sweet. It's sweet of you to ask. Just add a whole copse, if that's the appropriate use of this word, along this little ridge here to hide this as much as possible. Hopefully the misty runoff from the freshwater outlet will keep these trees fresh from fire danger. A little trickle of these coming down the cliff so it doesn't look like a huge forest out of nowhere like it does right now. There we go. Natural camouflage. Woohoo! Couple more back here. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that beautiful? Isn't it precious? About 17 seconds old. I'm done now, I promise. Oh, there goes Simba's father. Yep, you saw him. Hello, welcome. I hope you take a moment to appreciate the number of fire watchtowers that have been placed since the kind instructions. Not nearly enough, apparently. There have been several. I forgot I was going to put one near the new lumber zone. Let's do that now, and it will help this as well. Perhaps right off the industrial road here. Let's make sure it has the industrial road. Give it a little breathing room there. And boink. And little path. Oh, that's already occupied space. Don't I feel like a fool? Alright, maybe it's just not going to be curved. Maybe that's going to be the gravel path. He's going to have to walk the rest of the way on the fresh grasses. That'll be a nice rest for his tootsies. Alright, so we have multiple fire watchtowers. Our educational district is humming along, I hope. Let's take a quick look at how many, say, graduated citizens we've had. This is like the Creative Arts Museum, yeah, or Institute. Doesn't seem to have a number of graduated students. It's just currently enrolled, like a boost to high school education. 612 current students. I've selected a specific person, which you can't do, by the way, if anyone's like, oh, that guy's radical, and you want me to... Bradley Clark can be anyone you want. He can probably live anywhere, or you can pick where they live and then grab that sim specifically and all tie it together. So if you want to overwrite someone's identity, do let me know. 545. I'm wondering if we need like another... We have so many citizens, but not very many people in education, despite the fact that I think we just activated this global educational boost. So I'm wondering if it's a matter of access. Let's see, say, with a university. University. Does everyone have access? Seemingly so. There's a couple of people in the Bryn that aren't ideal, but it's not, they're not hurting for university access. How about public libraries? Some neighborhoods are hurting for public libraries. So it may be that they're not being able to get like enough of an education before they start working at a commercial place or something to even want to go to university, or I'm not sure why my educational pipeline seems to have a bit of a traffic jam in it. I should probably just make sure that every category of this individually, elementary schools, high schools, university, and public library is in the green. Like, maybe that's as simple as it is, and I just need a couple more public libraries. I'm not sure. I didn't really think public libraries were part of the educational pipeline, necessarily. So I don't know. I'm really just rambling while the waterfall figures itself out here. Let's speed this up a bit. As, in fact, it was paused the entire time, and the waterfall is not figuring itself. That to run for a while. Get its bearings. I think that looks fine. It's a little weird that it narrows so much here, and it didn't sort of widen out past that issue, but I do kind of like it at the same time. Like, it makes it look like more of a mountainy stream. So, let's go for it. We'll continue to beautify it a bit here. And I'll take it back down to single speed so now everything doesn't burn down. So, first things first, let's reconnect the Nature Reserve Road, which is in Parks Nature Reserve. And I believe it's decorative, yes. Should be able to make a little bridge over here, no big deal. That is great. I really like that. Let's add some trees. Let's make sure, in fact, there isn't anything nature reserve themed that fits in there before I fill up all the space with trees. Philip, is that you? We could have a little information board about the waterfall, like a little, oh, stop here to get wet. Nope, never mind. Moving along. Terrible plan. Let's have a little, like, informational. This is the Lake Consternation Overlook. Look, oh my goodness. Overlooking the sea. With some little benches. Oh, this is cute. Oh, these cute benches. Sorry, I'm having sort of nervous breakdown there. I'm sure you heard. And a little extra light to make sure people aren't left in the dark about their benches. That would be dreadful. Yeah, picnic tables. We've got, what is this? Some ground tiles. Okay. It's nice. I think the natural ground itself will be plenty for us. Thank you. Let's give them a row of picnic tables over here. And what else do we have? Kayaks. A little outhouse. Let's put that on the other side. This is probably a good spot for some restroom action. There we go. In fact, I don't know if we have any other outhouses around. Just in case. For the good folks. Try to put these in places where people hopefully aren't congregating or sleeping. I'm having a hard time telling where the door is there. I think I get it to face the light. I think that's the door. Yes. So sorry. Ahem. Put that right there. So, oh, you've arrived. Here's the outhouse. It could even be just up by the parking lot, but we'll put it closer to the campground. These also should probably have lights. I would think. I would prefer, if I was to use one. Just in case. In the darkness near the slippery, slippery rocks of the waterfall. What a shame that would be. Alright. So, in this little camp area, let's try to find some flowery trees, if such a thing exists. Oh yeah. Such a thing. Let's sort of fill this in a little bit. Make it look like a fairy tale. To the extent that we're able. Oh, going to the outhouse is like a fairy tale. Folks will say. About my park management. Alright, there we go. Huh. Now let's fill it in with some other colors here. I went a little crazy with that one, but I hope we still have plenty of room. Maybe not. Maybe we don't have plenty of room. Get rid of one of those. We'll fit one of these in. This is pretty much what I was hoping for. Let's put one of these on the other side of the road. There we go. Alright. Quick bulldoze. And should be this one. Yeah. Yeah, it should be that one. Alright, we need a nice big tree for that, though. It's not bad. Come on. Alright. So just want to insinuate a couple of distinct areas. We have those two campgrounds, but then this is rather boring over here, and this bridge is the perfect opportunity to go for it. Outhouses freak me out. They always have. Terrify you. I'm so sorry. I tried to make it so beautiful, but I can completely understand that. That's like, oh... It's like stairs not having the riser at the back so that somebody can just grab you by the ankle and make you fall. Outhouses are like, why would I leave my most intimate private building outdoors where scorpions can get inside of it? There are scorpions in the out of doors. So I'm completely with you there. And terrified of scorpions, if you were curious. I insinuate that the forest sort of changes there, too, magically near the bridge. So now we'll put in some of these... I don't want to use the word normal trees. That's not the sort of exclusionary language I'm going for. But some just regular old trees. This is such a nice little lift here. I'd love to kind of flatten that out and make it a raised campground with a couple of areas. That's sort of an expansion pack I'm looking forward to. We still have to work outward from the lake before we get to that. But so we've given this this side of the bridge some love. What else is available in the nature reserve? Let's see what we can do on this side. Because all of this is nature reserve road, so I shouldn't be filling it up with props as much as I should be trying to take advantage of the space we have for actual features, such as these fire gazebos, etc. We still have some opportunity to slip in some fire gazebos, which I'm sure do increase the fire danger significantly. But it's so pretty. Ah, look at that. Ah, so pretty with the fire danger. Speaking of fire danger, the forest of nonsense. has once again lit ablaze. I have so many fire stations there. They're just crammed with fire stations, and yet... Huh. Yikes. Alright. I'm so sorry, dear witch. Dear witch, this isn't my intention for your home. A helicopter depot's right there, a water source is right there. It's just the rapid spread of it. The crying shame of it all. Just in case, I'm gonna blow another 9,000 here to add another fire watchtower. I don't know if it'll help in the slightest, but if it helps in the slightest, oh please. Let's go for it. Alright, I'll give them a pavement path up to this one. So I think that's just going to happen. Regrettably, it'll just put sort of a temporary halt to our money-making, and then it will all rebuild, and it'll be fine. It shouldn't be able to spread anywhere other than the Forest of Nonsense itself. It's such a shame for my pocketbook, but oh well. You have a whole fleet of helicopters trying to help. That's lovely. How many do we actually have now? I know we increased the budget just a touch. 4 still. Okay. We didn't get an extra helicopter, but that's fine. Sorry about the nonsense. So, back to amenities in the waterfall here. We don't really have much. You know, we could put in a viewing station. There's not much room here for a campground. Oh, you know, that's not bad. And that does kind of give right there near the waterfall some purpose. It's more of like a beachfront campground. I hope that'll be fine. Let's try it. I actually love that, sure. Let's try to soften it just a touch. Soften terrain in a large area. And not too strong. Not too strong. I'm not sure if that's really reaching up high enough. It's very deep there in the lake. We can add some rocks to make it look a little less strange. Jagged cliff texture is a little jarring. But I do kind of like that there. Little extra area for campground. So I know we have all these cabins still to come. We'll probably fill in some of that around here once it pops. We do have another big camping site seemingly as well. Maybe that will have some cabins on it. You know, we do have these fishing cabins, which I want to make use of. Like maybe around here where it's really close to the water, there could be some rentable fishing cabins. Very excited for the nature reserve to level up. Let's see here. We're well past our entertainment. We're still just waiting for visitors. But it is a rather new nature reserve, despite all the work we've put into it. It's still in its infancy. So, let's focus on a couple of waterfall rocks here, and then we'll move on to something else. Thank you for bearing with me for so long. So I should be able to place a couple of things in here, but I don't want it to tear like the cliff texture is. You can see how the texture of the rocks also gets crazy when it's too steep. So I want to make sure that it looks as realistic as possible. Maybe this sort of thing would be good. Try to give it like an edge of rocks here. Must be a way to catch both sides in that swath. Something like that would catch both sides. Just give it a little different texture from the surrounding rock, at least. Let's try that. Oh, yeah. Just that change makes it like, oh, it's alive now. That's crazy. I love those little details there. So we can keep trying to do stuff like that. Let's see if there's a way to fit this in where it doesn't look so... like a discarded napkin, let's call it. I don't know if we're going to make use of this piece. I don't know if we're going to make use of pelvis rock, necessarily. But thank you. We tried. These ones are looking pretty natural. Oh yeah, like that's... I hate to speak of the crevice in this way, in front of the children, but that makes the crevice look real nice, is all I'm trying to say. Just a couple of little touches like that can go such a long way. Oh, the poor, poor forest of nonsense. Goodness me. So if that's just going to keep happening, let's not, let's not mess around with it. Let's just, steer into the skid. We're going to give you a fire headquarters right here. And, going to give you a fire headquarters right here. And I think I can probably delete this. Though it would probably be wiser to relocate it rather than delete it. I'll just fill that in with a quick industrial space. Alright. So yeah, they should be fine. I've got this whole road that we still haven't built anything on the other side of, so we have a ton of space to expand out here for quick residential grids or anything like that we may need. I should also probably put in another cemetery over here sooner rather than later, because it's going to be quite a while still until I can get crematoriums, I believe. 17,000. It's not that far off, but I may need a second cemetery here. Let's give this a quick peek. Yeah. I'm going to need a second cemetery. Alright. So let's go ahead and try to draw something through here. I think we left enough space. Nice straight road. Let's do 2 blocks. And I kind of want it to connect here and curve. Let's do that. Let's give it 1 more block, in fact. And we'll try that. Alright. Is that wide enough? I don't think it is. Hilariously, I was going to put it right in that little dagger slice there, but I think it's just a little too fat. So we can put it on the other side of the road. It's not a big deal. We can even put it on the curve. I'm just now wary of that. But I don't think we'll need to move it over here. So, 8,000 quick and easy dollars. Put it right near the border there. It should still have pretty good access to everybody. And that'll start filling up. I hate to chuck the dead in where there's already, like, pollution that doesn't seem to overlap in my mind, but we probably do need a cemetery over here, and once crematoriums are unlocked, the sad fact about them is they do pollute. They push a little ash up into the air, and so it's good to put your crematoriums near an already polluted area. So my philosophy is try not to put the dead people where it pollutes, but then later on the dead people start polluting and there's not much you can do about it. And it really is better, as sad as it is, I don't mean to go against anyone's personal preference or beliefs, but it's much easier to not have to keep building cemeteries. It's much easier to cremate the dead, because eventually it will all be cemeteries otherwise. But that's as philosophical as I'm going to get today. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm seeing those rocks. Ah, ha-ha, ooh, ahoo, ha-ha. Okay, the rocks do actually affect the flow of the water. For some reason I thought they didn't. I thought that it would just continue to run through them and they would be aesthetically pleasing, but not important. So I'm going to need to reposition this because it is now flooding the campfire. Oh, it's flooding the campfire. Right, nice. Sorry about that, folks. Oh, that should go back down to normal. My apologies. I'll be a little more careful where I place rocks lower down. Let's try it, say here, in the lake after the danger is gone. Yes, quite regrettably, my forest of nonsense suffered a Bit of a boo-boo. Again. ... I'm so sorry. I'm hoping, yes. I'm Mark Wahlberg's The Hopening that these two fire HQ stations do something to help us out. Alright. That's just gonna keep building. I'm not sure why I'm staring at it. A watched pot and all that. Let's throw a couple of rocks in here, get the idea of what we were going for without the flooding. Oh, goodness me, without the flooding, please. It's not really... it does not play well with bridges, is what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry, Phoebe. You're gonna have to get out of here. This is probably fine, though. Let's try placing it right here. It looks a little off, though. Let's try flipping it around. Yeah. It's just a little too stretchy for me there. Let's move it to one side at a time. I keep trying to do two birds with one stone here. It's not terrible. Just a little something coming out of the rocks, but there must be better options. These are kind of nice. Just a nice chonky boy out in the lake there. I actually like that a lot, and that'll force the water to do something strange, too, though I hope it won't make it lift up too much. It'll, like, break up the flow of it quite nicely. Let's try that. Oh, yeah. That's the consternation we were looking for. Alright, so I really can't put any rocks there. That's kind of too dangerous. I may be able to get away with something up here. I can definitely get away with a smaller something along the back here, maybe. Without too much stretching, I hope. Maybe a little bit too risky because it'll probably push the water out from it. But I do like how that looks snuggled up in there. It's hard to pass up. Let's see how it pushes the water, real quick. I'm just curious because that's rather lovely. Apart from the moss, which is stretched and stretched. That's gonna cause me problems. Gave a big push, but I think it's just a temporary tsunami. Yeah, we love a good chonky boy in the lake. He's pushing it up. Pushing it up rather severely, but I hope it will even itself out. The tsunami I created probably isn't helping much. If it doesn't, we can pull it a little bit back from the shore still. I think it will be fine. We can even make it narrower, like angle it diagonally just a bit. Okay, so yeah, this isn't this isn't going to work. That was exactly what I was worried would happen. I wasn't watching it. And now it's all gonna go sploosh and flood a whole bunch of things. Let's just speed through it. Sorry, the Bryn, et al. Yikes, that poor gazebo down there. Alright, so once that's evened out, how much is it still backing up from this structure? Is that going to cause me an issue? The problem is it's not... I was thinking it would rush through the center of the two rocks. It's not two rocks, it's one rock. It just looks like two, so it's forcing all of the water to go around it. And that's not really what I wanted. Around / over it. However, this waterfall up here is just working a treat. I love how that looks. That's great. Okay, so let me try adjusting our chonky boy, if you'll pardon the vernacular there. Can such a thing be adjusted? Find out tonight at 11. Can it only be bulldozed? No problem. Alright, so I do love our chonky boy. Let's let it even out so we can get a better look at it again here. That was just causing a little bit too much kickback. Alright, pausing it again. So our options are, we can angle it this way so that it causes less disruption, or we can use, let's say, 2 smaller rocks to direct it more to our liking. We also have these crazy rocks, which are always fun. You can make, like, bottom of the waterfall pillars. Yay! Yay! We're like a dinosaur town, I guess. I love that. Huh. I don't know what that's for, and I'm a little bit frightened by it, truth be told. Okay, let's try some of these. These look like nice big river stones here. Try a little something along the edge. I wish you could size these just a little. That's not bad. We lost a tree. Let's see how that affects the flow. And a different rock on the other side. Preferably not one that's gigantic. Just a nice little boy. A little chonky boy. Still a big chonky boy, but little. You know? Is that not in the cards? Just something like this. I kind of want to cover up how janky this campsite cliff is. I'm not sure what the right rock is for that. Let's try some more of these. Maybe this one. It'll add a couple more little features there. Like after you place it, it adds these rocks. And sometimes they look fine, and sometimes ew. It's a bit of an ew situation, but it does just sort of blend it as you pass the eye across. So I kind of like that. Just gives you the insinuation of more texture underneath the lake as you lead into it. Especially from a distance. That looks kind of nice. Yeah. I'll go with it for now. It does seem to be sort of strangely levitating a bubble of water inside of it. It's not ideal, but Alright, a couple more trees. Anywhere there's like a little peak of grass, I just want to take advantage of it. That's what people have been saying in Colorado for years. Look where that's got us. All this tax revenue. So the problem with doing this is that I'm probably using up some of the area that later we may want to use for cable cars, but it'll delete the trees when we do that, so no big deal. Just want to make sure the waterfall specifically has a sense of verdancy to it, as though it's, you know, nourishing the land around it. So that it sort of seems to be highlighted by trees. The way that, you know, an emo may be highlighted by red peekaboos. Bring some right down here near the water's edge. Oh, I thought you were going to give it to me, but now you're being all selfish. I see how it is. A little bit further from the water's edge than one might have liked, but it's fine. None of those were very large trees, but again, it's fine. Okay, I've spent way too long on this. Thank you for humoring me. I just wanted to make sure we have the whole structure of it pointed out and highlighted quite nicely. So there we have it. Our new waterfall, which will constantly flush into Lake Consternation, which will flush out of the canal. So you can see we now have a little bit of outflow happening. Before it was mostly still water. So now we're officially contributing to the river. This is good. Hopefully we won't interrupt or affect the flow in any way. I believe that this will continue to get sandier as it goes along. I'm not entirely sure. I may have made it too steep, is the problem. If I smooth it out a bit, it may get sandier. I think is probably the problem. So we can mess with that a bit too. Let me test that out, in fact, real quick here. Soften. I want it as large as possible. Let's see if we can just create a little beach here if it allows it. It may be that I just cliffed that up to the extent that the AI has to make it rocky, which was not my intention. But at the same time, we can vary it a little if that's the case, so that there are cliffier sections, say, here by these boulders we've put in, and then beachier sections along here, and... it's just an absolute gas of a time. I'm sure you understand. So I'm hoping this isn't messing up the water too much. But now that we're not worrying about filling our own lake, we don't really have to worry about the shape of it. We can make our own choices. So I'm hoping this will give us some beach without taking away too much of the water there. Give it a little time to even out. Maybe I'm still just a bit too steep. In which case I can take down the size a bit. And do this as well to, like, force it to be the right beach height in places. So we can continue to refine and give character to our lake there. You know, the more I look at this, the more I just don't like it at all. It's just not the right thing to put there. And it's sort of important to realize that. Like here, it's nice. The rocks all kind of make sense. They're not stretched too badly. Here, they're all stretched to, if you'll pardon me, holy hell. And in addition to that, it's just all blocky with this campsite. So let's just find something smaller there. That's good to realize. I'm going to delete this. And then we're going to check around to see if we have a good candidate for moving that campsite. We may be able to put it over here. Or, you know, snuggle it in that corner. However, we don't even necessarily need to keep it. Let's see what it costs to... What's the word? Relocate? Oh, brain. Please wake up. One of these days. Let's just snuggle it in here with the other. That way it's not causing any janky cliffage. We get to keep its trees and its entertainment value. And then we've got our little place back. And over here, let's try just a little smoothening. Oh, that's a little dangerous. I'm not going to smooth it by the waterfall because I need to make sure that still comes in here. But look at how much beach we've created. That will hopefully continue to... Like, the water will stop lapping up so weirdly once it's figured itself out. But that is great. I really like having a little bit more beach access. Am I caffeinated? I am not this morning, which is a huge mistake. I woke up late and then wanted to jump into this. I was so excited to be back with you all that I did not have time to make me coffee. And what a mistake it was. Alright, I'm going back down to normal speed. I feel like there's something else I, like, broke and I'm forgetting about. We finally got that cemetery road. What is the thing I broke and I'm forgetting about? It's one of those times. Forest of Nonsense is finally coming back online. Which means hopefully our profits will be too. We're still hovering just over 1 million. We haven't gone much beyond that, but luckily we haven't had to spend too much either. Everything's still humming along. There's no, specific section I'm dying to expand just yet. I I really like this sort of plateau area where everything's looking good. It makes me happy to see the city just living for a little bit. So I know we were wanting to add more public libraries. We of course still want to try to mess with the roads here a bit. Let me go ahead while I'm thinking of it, and let's get a road coming down here. How's the electricity looking? Ah, that's shockingly connected to the campsite. That's funny. So if I can connect the campsite up, we'll be in business. I think it's also connected here, so I'm just going to remove... Yeah, that should be fine. Remove these for now. And it's unpaused, so we should see pretty quick if that was a terrible idea. And that should leave us just enough room to run a road out from here. Pretty much as close to the cemetery as we can get it, really. Though that may be as close to the cemetery as it allows. I was hoping we'd be able to run it right past here. Let's go straight to tools, sorry. I guess there's just a touch of cemetery space being used there. That's fine. Oh, it told us real quick. So what did that disconnect it from? All that it was power from here. Okay, there's quite a few hydrofoils or whatever those are there. Understood, sorry. I figured there wasn't much over there since it's not like the solar updraft tower, but it's enough to cause an issue. That should be coming back online. Yikes. Talk about flickering lights. Alright, as we were saying, any old time now, really. Starting to concern me. Is that not... I guess it's just connected to here. Okay, that's stupid of me. I thought this was also... Nobody saw anything, right? I certainly didn't saw anything. What a fool I've been. I'm sorry to all the good folks without power there. This should bring it back online. I don't know why I thought that was connected. I think I was like, oh no, it's not connected here, so they'll be lacking power. But then I was like, oh, but it's connected over here. That's great. It's like, there is actually no connection to that, as strange as it is. It's all its own isolated grid. So I should add another jump at some point here to make sure that the solar updraft tower is contributing to this side of the world too. I mean, it is through here, but that just wasn't connected before. Man, that's so weird. My power grid is like going halfway around the map and back in the most silly ways. I should really just find a way to centralize it. Anyway, they're finally resolved. Let's get that road in. Alright, I'm gonna try it just here. I'm not sure if it's going to let me do this. Nope, I guess it's just never going to let me get that close to the cemetery. So that's fine. Let's go back to curved. Take it from right here. It's a little bit too far. That's almost perfect. Almost perfect. All right. Way too far again. I also don't, ideally I don't want it to be creating a bridge there, so I should be fixing this in several ways before I get distracted about that. Come on now. I guess it is just too steep. That's weird. We'll find a way down. That's not it. That's not the way down. Yikes. That should be doable, in my opinion. Quite doable. Play Valley hell with the grid, but okay. Just need it to be a little bit further towards the cliff. I should be pausing this so they're not like moving in and out the whole time. Sorry, everybody. I know this one is a little less steep, too. We could just do it over here and not have two roads going up, but I was hoping to have two little fork prongs. There should be a way to do it. Let me just switch to freeform. And a little closer to the cliff. And straight on till morning. Really without being too... Alright. That makes it a little weird. I'm really not sure if we need that much path now. There's sidewalks there. Let's just save a little path. Okay. Why not give it one more hop here? Since this is already looking a little intersection-y. There. Good. A little something different. I'm going to take away this. I don't think we're really going to need that right now. I'm also going to fix this so that it's working better with the land. Nothing wrong with that, but let's straighten it out and redo it here. In fact, I think pavement paths, I always forget, move with the terrain, so I probably could have just left those. Foolish. Just take out that strange little cliff there. Give this just a touch of smoothness as well. Okay. Now we should be able to run this right on down to the road. Easy as pie. Ah! Pie was so easy. Alright, now it's not making a weird extreme Mountain Dew jump. Sponsored by Mountain Dew. So I need 6,000 more population. Roughly like 1.5 subdivisions somewhere, I guess. Say here, or across the road here. And then I could get the crematorium. That's probably what I should keep in mind as a next goal here, of sorts. I think the Forest of Nonsense should be rebuilding. This is looking alright for now. We're just still waiting on visitors for it to upgrade itself. So, I've been at this for almost 80 minutes. I've probably rambled away your entire Sunday here, but I sure do appreciate it. I've been dying to play a little bit more of this, and we've made some hugely beneficial changes and additions and a little bit of beautification that I really appreciate. So thank you for bearing with me there. Let's smooth this out as well. Anywhere we can make it look a little bit more friendly. Let's try to do it. Even just a touch. Especially around here, say, where we might need to place a road. only regret is that you can't smooth larger areas than this. Like if you had maybe two more sizes worth would help. Thank you. Just gonna see if I can make this as road possible as possible. All right. Let's give this one more look here while we're on the subject of getting things down the steepest of paths. I want to have just a bit of a curve without putting that grid in danger, if at all possible. Is that going to put the grid in danger? Oh, it's all possible. It just makes it every time so steep right off the bat that it... It's like the only option is to curve at that point, which then keeps the steepness. And I hate all this bumpy action. So yeah, we need to find a way to do it without the curves. It's what past experience has taught me. If there's any other way... I believe in you. I believe. It's on the other end. I'm just a simple pathing AI. I don't know what you want from me. Yeah, I know it's steep. So, plan B. Can we get all of our curve out of the way as quickly as possible? Can we do a quick woonchie and just get that curve? All that nasty curve out. This is such a thin little corridor to work with, too. It's... Ugh. So I want that curve to be as slight as possible, if even necessary. And there's just no real way to tame it. That's not bad. Like, I don't hate that little hook there. I also like how much efficient space we're using next to the border. That's good. However, this is a nightmare. Just patently, clowns and screaming for 8 solid hours. 8 good hours of sleep. Just the clowns and the screaming. I know there must be some perfect way. It must be possible. This, again, isn't bad. We're taking it a tiny little section at a time, and we're getting there. We're getting there slowly. It's all part of the show, folks. Well, this is a real barrel of clowns. Did you want me to say it like I was having a nervous breakdown? I just assumed. Well, this is a real barrel of clowns. Alright, I'm not sure about this one. I'm sure about that one. I'm not sure about this one. Just as slow and, just as gentle as possible. So slow and gentle you wouldn't believe it. I know that the slope is very steep. I know that. I'm just asking... I'm just asking. I'm not sure at this point. I'm genuinely not sure which way to angle it. It's like I need something drastic like that to drop us a level down, and I need that to happen like 3 times. It's just not happening. Let me take what we have up here, and I'm going to start from down here and see if I have any better luck. Let's try this intersection. Distance too short, my fat fanny. Distance too short indeed, my fanny that we have mentioned earlier, which is quite plump. You can tell me the slope is too steep here, that I'll believe, but distance too short? Are you out of your ever-loving mind? Alright, let's try something crazy like this. Just like this. I want it to curve. Not too much. Not to the extent that you'd say, "Ho now!" And then, yeah, just like that. Just a sharp V, whiplash sort of curve to take us back and around. Check out my sharp V. What? So again, like, that's not terrible. It is bumpy, but it's still drivable, in my opinion. We may be able to take this angle just a little harsher with it. This more steam. Oh, for a full tank of steam. That's fine. You enjoy. I just want to try to get it lined up as straight against the back of these houses as possible. Like right here would be ideal. That'd be fantastic. I want you to go quite a ways, and then, okay, we're going to give you a little... Might have been the spot. Not with the tunnels, but right next to it. Yeah. There it was again for a second. Okay, that's not good. This road, I tell ya. This road. Alright, so it's like, again, we've created a monster. Every time I do this, we've created a monster. Without any smoothing tools to make use of, it's really rather difficult. I don't love it. And it bums me right out. That's fine. That's what the process of creation is all about. Being bummed right out and then back. Out and back. Never-ending circle of bummage. Just gonna run this. Yeah, I'm just gonna run it all the way. Why are you adding, like, carnival sack race slide bumps every time? Nobody wants your carnival sack race slide bumps. You sick specimen. However, it's better than anything else I've seen, so I'll take it. Slope too steep. Slope too steep. I'm beginning to think the slope isn't too steep at all. Oh man, it would work right there. Well, goodbye forever, apartment complex. If that's the case, goodbye forever. Alright, so I really kind of need to give it the assistance there. Let's see if these can somehow magically play nice. Play nice with one another. You're cousins, for goodness sake. Oh, it's so shameful that it can make the slope right there, but it can't make the slope right here. Just shameful. Ah, the sheer shame of it. Should probably save my harsh words for more apt situations. In my mind, there's nothing wrong with this at all. This should be possible. And I'm just going to sit here until it is. I am so sorry. I've spent way too long, way too much of your time on this bit. This little shtick. I think we almost have something workable. I should just go ahead and let it take our apartment building from us, and that'll be fine. We'll still make some use out of it. And out of the surrounding grid. So, we now have a connection. That's all I really care about. Good, good. Let's hide the sheer hilariousness of it just a touch with some trees. Well, that's hilarious. Make it at least look like maybe it was some intentional landscaping and not the cruel twist of the gods. I don't even know what caused it to be so bumpy. God, it's bumpy. Alright. Let's fix the grid up. Sorry, my friend. If your neighbor across the street has to lose his house, so too do you. It's his house. Let's fill that back in with residential. No, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready! I'm not wearing my makeup. Alright, a little bit in there, a little bit in here. Let's make that one and these. Sure. Sure. Alright, and this can be whatever it can make use out of those two squares. Good. Let me just go ahead and remove these two. I think any high-density single square building will be better than a single square low-density building. Alright, move along. Just clean up this corner a bit. Thank you again for bearing with me so long here. I am almost done, and will release you from my vicious spell. Release you to go watch more WandaVision or something. Not sure what your day entails. It's none of my business, really. Alright. That should just about do it. We'll let that fill in. I'm not sure why they broke, but okay. So, in this session, we burnt down the Forest of Nonsense, but it's coming back online. We built a lovely waterfall, which I appreciate greatly. Thank you for bearing with me there. We fixed a bit more beach into our nature reserve. Good, good. We've added some cemetery space. Over here, I believe. Oh no, we're getting some crime. Thanks, cemetery space. Let's check that. Just in that one park. It's become a seedy location for gathering. Hey, do you want to buy some ghost peppers? I think it'll be fine. So, we will be back next time to continue the big expansion. We're still waiting for level 3 here of the nature reserve. Then we'll add some, hopefully, cabins and things in. We finally have our way up here, so we can continue to work on the Forest of Nonsense next time. And my promise for next time is the big ticket item. Let's try to get this railroad connected up. We have over $1 million. Let's see if we can make a station and get it to where our industrial traffic can bring lumber out to it, or more accurately, we can build a little offshoot of the railroad tracks and build a railroad station here by the lumber, say. Though we will want both sides to access it, so maybe we can build the railroad station along this exit road. We could even straighten it out if need be. No real reason it has to be that shape. So, railroad next time. Let's try for it. I've never really jumped into the railroad stuff, so that'll be a fun learning experience for us. Thank you for listening to me ramble. So sorry, my head is everywhere today. It's all over the duvet. I love you. I hope you're having a great weekend. if I survive the coming snowpocalypse this afternoon, I'll see you next time. Much love from the city of Menzoberranzan, and bye for now.